this transition been for you? Was it smooth or did you face any challenges in your journey?
Of course, every stage has been full of challenges. It has been a cycle for me.
You are catering to all the sections of the society, the middle class and as well as the needy.
Patient's financial situation or condition, patient is a patient and you have to be compassionate in caring for them.
What makes the Indira Gandhi Eye Hospital stand out in terms of the services it is delivering in a metro city like Delhi?
So there are a lot of people in cities, in metros, who are not as well off or who cannot afford a very high or expensive treatment as they may appear to be.
What are the different types of condition and the common type of conditions you are nowadays seeing in your OPD?
Reasonable surety that almost 99.9% of people have. Everybody is on phones, on tablets, screens,
Yes.
laptops, TV.
Can a child wear contact lenses and at what age they can start wearing contact lenses?
You cannot trust them with the contact lenses till they turn about maybe 17 or 18.
Do you think there are any risks or side effects if the patient is not wearing glasses?
What kind of number which the patient has? What is the severity of the refractive error?
Welcome to Eye Conversations with me, Dr. Sheetal Brar, your host, Director ProSight Eye Hospital, Sector 43, Chandigarh. And today we have a very distinguished guest of honor who not only is a prominent ophthalmologist and eye surgeon, but is also a very talented artist and a very kind and humble human being.
Hello, Dr. Sanjay.
Hi, Sheetal.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very fine.
Nice to see you and thank you for calling me over here.
Same here. Please have a seat.
Thank you so much.
So, Dr. Sanjay, we all know you are a singer, bike enthusiast, and a photographer. Then, how did ophthalmology happen? Did you always wanted to become an ophthalmologist?
Well, there's a very long story behind it. I always wanted to become a doctor, but ophthalmology was not really my primary specialty that I was looking forward to. I wanted to do neurosurgery.
Wow.
And in my first attempt, I could not get through surgery. So I was working as a resident in a hospital. And while I was doing my residency, when my professor over there, they saw me do the work, they said that your hand is very good in fine surgery, in fine work. Why not try something which is microsurgery? Why not you try doing ophthalmology? So I liked the idea. And I decided, okay, fine, let me give it a shot. I joined a diploma in ophthalmology at Guru Nanak Eye Center to see that how it works. First 1 month was bewildering. I knew nothing about that. Second month, when I started operating and I saw my results, I was amazed at myself. And then I decided, okay, I want to become an ophthalmologist. I did diploma, then I did my MS, and by God's grace, I got a gold medal in my MS exam
Wow.
for being the best candidate in ophthalmology in the Delhi University. And
Amazing.
thereafter, as they say, is all the history.
Wow. So, that's such an inspirational story you have shared. You developed interest in the specialty after joining it.
Exactly. And even I find it very, very strange, but
Yeah.
it happened like
Because
that.
normally people already are clear
Yeah.
when they want to choose their specialty, but you wanted to give it a try and see whether you develop interest in it or not, and it finally worked out for you.
And I got so much interested in it that I did 2 degrees in it
Wow.
and spent a much longer time getting there.
So it turned out to be the best decision of your life.
Well, so
Maybe.
far, so good.
So, Dr. Sanjay, you have recently taken over a very important and responsible position of being the CEO and Medical Director of the Indira Gandhi Eye Hospital. But you are coming from a corporate background. You have worked with big chains like Max, Fortis, etc. How has this transition been for you? Was it smooth or did you face any challenges in your journey?
So for me, the transition has been smooth at every stage, Of course, every stage has been full of challenges. It has been a cycle for me. I started from a community service hospital, which was the Lions Hospital and Research Center,
Yeah.
and which was a charitable hospital. From there, I moved on to corporates, which included Max, Vasan, Fortis, back to Max.
Yeah.
And having spent almost 25, 30 years in corporate, I thought that it is time for me to, to go back to the roots where I actually belong. So I wanted to do things for community at large. There are things which are great about corporate, but there are things which are also much desirable there. So in my later years of life, I wanted to give back to the society, do things in a different way. And then this opportunity came along my way. I took it upon myself to do it.
That's so nice to know that you have this desire to give back to the community. Very few people have this in them. So thank you so much for inspiring us.
Thank you so much.
Do you find a difference in the work culture between the two types of institutes that you have worked, the Max and now the Indira Gandhi Eye Hospital?
Absolutely. There's a huge difference in the work culture and the approach to the patient. And both approaches are correct. So I don't want to be misunderstood here. Things like Max or any corporate hospital, any corporate venture is started with an idea of making profit, making money. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that idea. And it's very explicit. It's very, very clear. So the approach there is to deliver good service, but to make profit at the end of the day.
Sure.
And so what happens is that sometimes people who cannot afford that kind of service, they get left out. Whereas the approach in a charitable hospital or in a community service hospital is to be able to serve the needy people and to be able to reach out to a much larger population and also to even to a better affluent population also in a way that's far more affordable and far more compassionate. So the emphasis is more on service, empathy, compassion, not so much on commerce.
So it looks like you seem to be enjoying your new role.
Absolutely. New role, new challenges and new enjoyment.
Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Dr. Sanjay, what makes the Indira Gandhi Eye Hospital stand out in terms of the services it is delivering in a metro city like Delhi?
Okay, that's a good question now. And so now the word charity is often misunderstood. Charity does not really mean that you have to serve the poor and the needy only. Even the urban people, a lot of them are struggling to make their ends meet.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people in cities, in metros, who are not as well off or who cannot afford a very high or expensive treatment as they may appear to be. So I think everyone deserves charity. Charity means giving to the person or serving the person in a way which is very justifiable, in a very compassionate manner, which the person finds affordable and a value for their money. So everyone deserves that charitable, that empathetic approach. So that's why the Gurgaon hospital, though the Gurgaon population is very, very affluent, but we also cater to the population coming from around Gurgaon, from the villages and all also. Yeah. We have other centers in smaller places like Sona. We've got centers in Lucknow, Amethi, Raebareli, Fursadganj. Some of them are actually in the heart of villages, so which actually serve the people who cannot afford to come to the cities.
So which means you are catering to all the sections of the society, the affluent and the middle class and as well as the needy.
Absolutely. I know, and I always say that patient's background, patient's financial situation or condition should not affect your approach to them. Your approach has to be uniform. Patient is a patient and you have to be compassionate in caring for them.
Certainly, I couldn't agree more. So Dr. Sanjay, let's talk something about patients and patient care and ophthalmology. What are the different types of condition and the common type of conditions you are nowadays seeing in your OPD the most?
Well, thanks to COVID and thanks to everything going online, thanks to everything going digital and there being bombardment of screens everywhere, a digital eye strain is the single most common condition that we get to see in OPD, and I can say it with reasonable surety that almost 99.9% of people have it. And because everybody is on phones, on tablets, screens, laptops, TV, whether for work or for education or for entertainment.
Entertainment, true.
Everything is on the screen. And people spend a lot of time on the screens, including all of us.
Yes.
including all of us.
Yeah.
So we are also guilty of the same. And that leads to, a lot of strain on the eye,
Yeah.
a lot of problems in the eye. And that is the commonest thing that we encounter. And also in kids, ever since the teaching was online in the COVID and then hybrid afterwards, and now increasing use of computers in education, the incidence of myopia has increased many folds.
Yes.
That's what we're getting to see.
Yeah.
So visual strain or digital strain associated and myopia in kids is being seen more and more often than what was there about 10 years ago.
I totally agree with you. I did some research and on the prevalence of myopia, and India is amongst the top 10 countries with the highest prevalence of myopia. I think this is very alarming.
That is true. That's
Yeah.
absolutely true. And because, see, it's not just the screen
Yes.
which is responsible. Screen also denotes a change in the lifestyle. Now, when kids are hooked to the screen, people are hooked to the screen, that means they're sitting and working
Yeah.
and they're indoors. So the outdoor activities have completely gone off. Sitting has increased. Sitting is the new smoking, as they say.
Yes, yes.
And with no sun exposure, no
Yeah.
physical activity, no outdoor exposure, spending the entire day inside, indoors, also affects the lifestyle, the health overall. No?
Yes.
So everything gets compounded and added up. No? So the myopia is more, visual strain is more, headache is more, the back is, the neck strain is more, text neck is a big thing.
Yeah.
People are having low back aches. No, there's a mood disturbance happening, sleep disturbance happening. People not sleeping well.
Yeah.
They're not sleeping on time. They're getting up early or getting up late. No, so there's a complete change of lifestyle. And then also with the phone, you order food from outside, and the food that comes home and the food that you eat is not
also not healthy.
is not the healthiest of the
Yes.
food. No. So it's not just the screen,
Yeah.
but the screen is a depiction of the change in the whole lifestyle.
So there's a lot of collateral damage which is happening because of just one factor, which is increased use of the screens and
yes.
mobiles and
True.
digitalized training.
Yes.
Yeah. So डॉक्टर संजय आपने बताया कि मायोपिया का प्रेवलेंस इंक्रीज हो रहा है. सो व्हाट सजेशंस वुड यू लाइक टू गिव टू द पेरेंट्स जिनके बच्चे ग्लासेस पहन रहे हैं? वो क्या कर सकते हैं एट देयर लेवल जिससे कि उनका चश्मे का नंबर बढ़ने से रुक जाए या उसकी प्रोग्रेशन की स्पीड कुछ कम हो जाए?
देखिए, सबसे पहला जो फैक्टर है, द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्टर इज़ हेरिडिटी. अगर पेरेंट्स को चश्मे का नंबर है तो चांसेस है वेरी वेरी हाई कि बच्चों को भी नंबर होगा. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली यू कैन नॉट चेंज दैट. यू कैन नॉट गो बैक इन टाइम एंड चेंज द हेरिडिटी और चेंज द पेरेंट्स ऑफ द चाइल्ड. बट येस, देयर आर अदर फैक्टर्स विच एग्रीवेट द प्रोग्रेशन ऑफ मायोपिया. कि नंबर का जो बढ़ना है वो काफ़ी बाकी चीज़ों पे निर्भर करता है. फॉर एग्जांपल द लाइफस्टाइल दैट वी टॉक्ड अबाउट. It has been seen that near work, reading, writing, and especially looking at small screens is a very strong factor which leads to progression of myopia. And this is a factor that we can to some extent control. So cutting down the screen time, cutting down the near work to what is minimum required for the child is the single most important thing that the parents can do. Not an easy thing though. Second is, as I said, that screen also denotes a change in the lifestyle. People are not spending time outdoors. Kids are not playing in dirt. They're not playing in mud anymore. Please send your kids outside. Let them go and play in the sun. Let them go and play in the mud. No. Don't take their childhood away from them. I remember our times. Half of the day we were outside playing. And parents had to really come out and call us and scream at us कि प्लीज़ बेटा घर वापस आ जाओ. And अब जो है पेरेंट्स बच्चों को कहते हैं, स्क्रीम करते हैं कि हाँ बेटा घर से बाहर जाओ, प्लीज़ गो आउट एंड प्ले, एंड किड्स डोंट वांट टू गो आउट. So that is a big change which has happened in the lifestyle, and one has to find out ways and means to change that part. And I think more than the parents, it is the schools who need to play a role in that.
Yeah, because children are spending
yes,
more time in the school than
kids
at home.
follow what they are being told to do in the school.
Yes.
Teachers are bigger influence on our child than the parents are. The peer group is a bigger influence on the child than the parents are. So the schools need to make sure that kids spend time outdoors. I would even go to the extent of saying कि have classes out in the open. What is wrong in having classes out in the sun? If it's winters, there's a very nice bright sun outside. Take the kids outside, let the kids sit outside,
Yeah.
have a class out in the sun or under the tree in summers. So that kids get this concept of being outdoors, playing
Yeah.
out, and let them get their hands dirty. Do not stress too much on hygiene.
Let them connect with the nature.
Let them connect with the nature.
Yes.
Let them know what is natural.
Yeah.
Let them have healthy diet.
Yeah.
Let them have natural food. Let them not have synthetic fast food,
Yeah.
which we ourselves find unhealthy.
True.
And so the parents too have to change their lifestyle. You cannot be sitting indoors throughout the day and expect your child to go out and play. You cannot be eating fast food and partying every night and expecting the child to not order food from outside. So the parents have to be an example for the kids. So encourage outdoor lifestyle, encourage healthy eating habits, and instill the concept of fitness from very, very early age. See, because if it's not instilled from very early age, by the time you grow up, by the time you become to hit your middle age, by the time you become unfit, it's already too late to reverse the damage. So these are things which the parents can do. But of course, in addition to that, there are other things which need to be done.
Dr. Sanjay, you brought out some really important points, and ये बहुत important है पेरेंट्स के लिए समझना, एंड इवन फॉर टीचर्स कि आउटडोर एक्टिविटीज़ एंड एक्सपोजर टू सनलाइट कितना इम्पॉर्टेंट है फॉर देयर ओवरऑल हेल्थ एज वेल एज टू basically control the progression of myopia.
And besides this, there are other things that we can do. And so the parents need to have a regular eye examination for child.
Yes.
And that's very, very important, that the myopia should be picked up early, diagnosed properly, and treated properly. There are some newer means of controlling myopia which have come into medical science. Namely, there are some eye drops available, some medicines available, which used at the right age in the right amount have shown that can retard the myopia progression to some extent.
Yeah.
There are new kind of glasses available
Yes.
these days, which some studies have shown that they are beneficial. Though these things are again being tried and being studied. The evidence is not very, very strong, but it is suggestive of that. But again, lifestyle changes should not be ignored, even if you're using eye drops, even if you're using glasses.
Very well said, Dr. Sanjay. And I would also want you to just tell the parents how important it is to start the eye examination of a child. And at what age do you really recommend that parents should start eye examination for the children, and how often it should be done?
So the first examination should happen at birth.
Okay.
And that is to pick up any congenital deformities, any congenital anomalies or congenital defects which are
Yes.
there. And second examination should happen around the age of around 1. Though these examinations do not give too much of information to us, but at least any gross things are picked up there.
Yeah, like cataracts or any.
Like congenital cataract,
Yes.
congenital glaucoma, squint, and all can be all picked up even at the age of 1.
Yes.
And even a gross diminution of vision can be picked up at the age of 1. Then the third examination I recommend is when the child is verbal and the child is able to read some alphabet, so which is usually at the time of school entry. After that, if everything is fine, then once in 2 to 3 years examination of the eye is perfectly okay. But in case there's any issue found, or if parents have got some history of say wearing glasses or any eye problems, then annual eye examination is what I would recommend.
Do you think there are any risks or side effects if the patient is not wearing glasses, which they could encounter later in their life?
So it's a very complex situation, and it depends on the what kind of number which the patient has, what is the severity of the refractive error, and how are the two eyes, whether it's equal or unequal in the two eyes. Suppose it's say a very low number of less than 1, but it's same in both the eyes and everything else is fine and the child is comfortable, maybe we can avoid glasses. But if the number is say 1 or more, then glasses need to be worn. If the number is asymmetric in the two eyes, then the glasses must be worn very, very early. If there's a high cylindrical power, glasses need to be worn very, very early.
Yeah.
And then a more frequent examination would be required in those cases. Why? Because it's not just the ability to see, but also the visual development of the child gets affected if the glasses are not worn.
Yeah. Can you talk something about lazy eye, because I think that's associated
that's
with
what
this
I was
topic.
coming to.
Yeah.
That when a child is small, before the age of 9 years, the visual system is very flexible and moldable. It is still shaping up.
Yes.
And at that stage, if the number is high and the glasses are not worn, then the visual system does not fully develop. And the visual development or vision development gets arrested at a lower level, what we call is the laziness, or technically called amblyopia. So it's very, very important that early treatment should be started in those kids which have a high glasses power to prevent amblyopia, to improve coordination of the two eyes, to be able to get a proper depth of vision, vision to the side. So the 3D vision
Yeah.
is very, very important in life. So whether you're driving or playing sports or doing any activity, you need that high level of three-dimensional vision or depth perception, which gets affected if any of the two eye is even slightly lazy.
Yeah, I think that was a very, very important information that you have shared with our audience, and the importance of early eye checkups for the child. Any problem in the eye of the child should not be ignored.
Exactly.
Dr. Sanjay, have you come across any interesting myths which people have around wearing glasses?
Oh yeah, plenty of them. I think I don't know कहाँ से लोग बातें निकाल के लाते हैं कि हाँ, कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि हाँ, चश्मा पहनने से नंबर बढ़ जाएगा, कुछ लोग
या
कहते हैं
रुक
कि
जाएगा।
क्या पहनने से रुक जाएगा. And नंबर का बढ़ना या ना बढ़ना, progression
जी.
or not, does not depend on wearing glasses. Glasses are worn for the sake of clarity of vision, comfort of vision, and proper development of vision.
True.
The progression depends on other factors that we talked about, heredity being an important factor, lifestyle being the other factor, near work is a very, very important factor.
Yeah.
Progression depends on that and not on wearing the glasses. But the glasses, if the number is significant, should be worn.
Thank you for busting this very common myth, because सबसे पहले लोग यही कहते हैं कि चश्मा पहनने से नंबर रुक तो जाएगा ना. And I give exactly the same response as you have given, that glasses only want to prevent eye strain, to make the child see better and clear, and also for proper development of the vision.
True.
So, Dr. Sanjay, we are talking about myopia and the modalities to correct myopia. Of course, glasses are the commonest aid which people are using, but apart from that, people also use contact lenses. So, what is your take about contact lenses, and can a child wear contact lenses, and at what age they can start wearing contact lenses?
A child, when his or she has become mature enough to handle it, to take care of the lenses, can start wearing contact lenses. Typically, it is seen that girls by the age of 12 to 13 are mature enough to take care of their lenses, and they can start early. Boys, on the other hand, have to wait. Because you cannot trust them with the contact lenses till they turn about maybe 17 or 18, because boys are generally not as careful as the girls are. So in girls, it can be started sooner. However, I would say that keep the duration of lens wear to minimum required.
Yeah.
I often tell my patients that yes, start with occasional wear, party wear, evening wear occasionally, but not regularly, not on a daily basis. No.
Yeah.
Because the effect of contact lens is a cumulative effect. It depends on for how long you've been using lenses, and for what is the duration of lens wear. It adds to an ongoing cumulative effect or even damage to some layers of cornea.
Yes.
So you should keep the duration of lens wear to minimum required. But occasional wear for children is okay, provided they can take good care of the lenses.
Yeah. And most importantly, they should never sleep with their contact lenses.
Never sleep with the lenses on at all. So that brings a very important point, because ortho K lenses are in vogue.
Yeah.
And which for correction of myopia, I am personally not in favor of those lenses, because if you have to wear lenses, you might as well wear lenses in the daytime rather than wearing at night. There are very few situations where ortho K lenses which are worn at night to correct the myopia are actually justified, and it is mostly to fool some institution or the other. But as a rule, I would say that go for daytime wear lenses and avoid ortho K lenses as far as possible.
Yeah, so basically keep lenses use to the minimum for occasional purpose, and stick to their glasses as the main aid for seeing clearly. And once they are mature enough after 18 plus and their power is stable, they can always go for a refractive correction.
Correct.
Dr. Sanjay, I'm also aware that you are a prolific cataract refractive surgeon. So, what are the technologies in the field of cataract surgery that you are using in your institute and are excited about for the future?
First of all, so are you.
Me?
So I mean, I think the audience should also get to know that you yourself are a very, very prolific cataract and refractive surgeon. And this question coming from you, I'm very, very happy to answer that. In my past 35 years of experience, the technology for cataract surgery has changed dramatically. You know,
Yes.
it has changed, increased in leaps and bounds. From the way we do the surgery
Yes.
and the kind of lenses that we implant.
Yeah.
So the major developments which have happened in the technique was the arrival of phacoemulsification first and femtolaser then. And then the newer kind of lenses which have come into the market are a big boon for both the surgeon and the patient, because we are able
Sure.
to deliver good results to the
Yeah.
patient, and patients get more gratification out of the surgery, and they get what they really expect and what they really want, and what they really need in their life. So in the lenses, the newer lenses which can correct both the spherical power of the eye and the cylindrical power of the eye is a big advancement. Earlier on, we used to have spherical lenses, but patient would still need to wear a cylindrical glasses in the eye. So the people who had both spherical number and a cylindrical number, and where if you put a spherical lens, the cylindrical part would still be remaining, and they had to wear those glasses. But
For
now with the advent of lenses which have got both the components in it, sphere and cylinder, and these lenses are called toric lenses.
Yeah.
They can correct both these components, and patient becomes, achieves a greater degree of freedom from glasses.
Yes.
If there's a monofocal lenses, patient does not need to wear distance glasses. In case of trifocal lenses or EDOF lenses, even the need for near glasses is also minimized and many times completely eliminated.
That's so true. I personally feel that toric lenses have been a real game changer for patients who have astigmatism at the time of cataract surgery. So, what is the percentage of toric lenses that you're using in your institute compared to the monofocals and the trifocals and multifocals?
So the toric lenses are, of course, the use is little less. It's not 100% because not all patients really need them. But the patients who do need them and can afford them, we are using all of them. Roughly, it may be about, I would say, about 20% of patients are the ones who need a toric correction, who
Yeah.
have got a cylindrical power in the eye,
Yeah.
and who probably need them, and they can go for that.
So, what is the minimum cylindrical power you would like to correct with a toric lens?
So I would personally say maybe around a cylinder of 1,
Yeah.
0.75, and not below that.
Sure. Yeah.
And because to some extent we are able to correct the cylinder by our incisions
Incision.
also.
True.
The surgical technique itself can correct that, but a higher cylindrical power, more than one and above, cannot be corrected satisfactorily by incisions alone. So you need to use toric lenses.
So, for the toric lenses, do you prefer a particular design or type of lens which would be more stable in the eye and would prevent risk of rotations in the post-op period?
Yeah, Dr. Sheetal, as you know that in a cylindrical power,
Yeah.
there are two components. One is the power, the reflective power, and also the orientation of the cylinder or the axis. And both these things need to be taken care of. Accurate power and accurate placement of the lens, and also the lens should remain in that position throughout life. So it's important for the lens to be fixated well. So the lenses which have got 4-point fixation, and so all the designs where the 4-point fixation is there,
Yeah.
it has a greater contact with the capsule of the eye or the bag or the membrane in which will implant the lens, and they remain stable. They do not rotate afterwards.
Yeah.
So rotational stability is there, and hence the cylindrical power does not change or does not come back afterwards. So I am in favor of 4-point fixation lenses in terms of the stability. Some of the other designs also claim to be very stable,
Yeah.
and in fact, many of the lenses are very well designed these days, with the newer lenses. But personally, I'm in favor of 4-point fixation.
You rightly pointed out about the 4-point fixation, and this is something that you also achieve with the BVI toric lenses because they have a unique design, and this design is called the pod design, wherein they have 4 open loops which give 4-point fixation, and their edges, their surfaces are also little roughened. So they call it as the rich tech design. And this is something that gives a better stability in the capsular bag and prevents the risk of rotations. And I have personally used these lenses, and I'm a fan of these lenses. And my tolerance to using these lenses for cylinders has actually come down to even less than 0.75.
Great.
So these are excellent lenses, and I'm enjoying the results of these
I've
lenses.
seen the design,
Yeah.
it really appears very impressive,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to using these lenses also myself.
Dr. Sanjay, you're so active on social media. And from your social media posts, we already know that you are into singing, photography, and biking. How do you really find time for your passions, and how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance?
I'm so glad that you asked this question to me because I think this is a big challenge for everyone,
Yes.
and I'm very happy to answer that. No, see, time. There's plenty of time in a day. 24 hours is a very long day. Even if you spend 8 hours sleeping, you still have 16 hours at hand to, at hand to do. And in 16 hours, even if you work 8 to 10 hours, you still are left with 6 hours. No? So there is actually ample time that we have. We just need to have a strong motivation to do the things that you want to. If you really love something,
True.
if you're really crazy and passionate about something, you will do it. You will be able to find time to do it. And I never give this excuse to myself that I don't have time. What I say is, if I'm not doing something, I say I don't have motivation for that. I'm not driven for that. But time, there is plenty of time in the day to do. So never give yourself this excuse that you don't have time. You can always take out time. Taking out a couple of hours every day for your passionate pursuits is not a bad idea. And of course, you don't have to do it every day. There are weekends for that.
Yes.
You can do it occasionally. You can swing. There are days when you work like mad, and there are days when you enjoy like mad. But it's very, very important to have passions in life, because if you do not have those passions, you will have burnout at your work. Even for working properly, even if you want to remain interested in your work and interested to be productive in your work, you need to have passions alongside in your life, which is what I do.
Very well said, Dr. Sanjay. I think increased pressures and burnout is something which is killing all of us these days. The stress of the work and performance stress, etc. So one definitely needs to find time for their passions and some kind of a activity that relaxes them, like maybe yoga or meditation or going outdoors, hiking, biking. So what you said truly makes sense, and I myself am very motivated to incorporate some of these habits in my lifestyle.
So I've always been passionate about various things. Photography has been a very long-standing passion. So is music, cycling, running, biking, hiking, even books, reading, and I also write occasionally. I find time, and I feel that we have plenty of time at hand. We just need to use it properly. If you're passionate about something, if you're driven about something, you'll be able to do those activities in whatever time you have at hand. We all have 24 hours in a day. Even if we work 8 to 10 hours every day, we still have 14 hours left for ourselves and for our family. In those 14 hours, if you say take out 8 hours of sleep, you still have 6 hours that you can spend with yourself and with your family, with all your passions. So saying that we don't have time is a very lame excuse we often give to our own selves.
Dr. Sanjay, you're such a distinguished ophthalmologist, and your wife, Dr. Nidhi Dhawan, is also a very prominent ENT specialist. So, Dr. Sanjay, this is often seen that children of doctors become doctors. But in your case, your children have taken careers of fine arts and music. How did you really take it?
Well, it was difficult for my wife to accept it. Not so much for me, because I believe that every career choice, every profession has got its own set of difficulties, challenges, obstacles. And if you are passionate about your career, if your heart is into it, you'll be able to face those challenges, overcome those difficulties, and excel in your field. But if your heart is not into it, you'll only regret for the rest of your life. I did not want my kids to ever regret or feel that the parents stopped them from doing whatever they wanted.
I would just say that you have actually set a very good example for the society, because there are so many thousands of people who are going through the same situation as yours. They want their children to take up a profession which they are into because they feel that they would be able to help them. But actually, it's also important to understand the mentality of your child, what they are best at, what they want to do in life. So I think it's something which is very commendable that you have done and set an example for the society.
Here, I would like to actually convey a message to the parents that you should prepare your child to live the life. Most of the time, I see that parents are preparing the child to take up a profession. Parents are preparing the child to earn money, but that's not how they should be. It should be, because life is much more than just money and profession. You should actually let them decide their own direction and face their own set of challenges.
And as parents, you must support them. And that's something that would go a long way in maintaining a healthy relationship with your children.
And your children will remember you for the rest of their life, that you allowed them to pursue their passions, their desire, their longing.
Okay, Dr. Sanjay, we spoke about myopia progression, parenting, and eye conditions and treatments, etc., etc. Are you ready for some fun now?
Absolutely.
So I will be throwing at you some questions which will be funny, a little erratic, and a bit reflective as well.
Fire on.
So this is our rapid fire round, which is the most interesting and exciting part of our.
I hope there's a prize at the end of it.
Of course, if the answers are crisp and clear and only in a single word or a phrase or a sentence.
I'm game.
Let's begin.
Yes.
Dr. Sanjay, you're almost 62, and I'm sure everyone is curious to know the secret of you looking so young and fit at this age.
Keep the insane child in you alive throughout life. I bought my first superbike at the age when I turned 60,
Wow.
and second one when I turned 62.
One fun activity which is compulsory for you to do over a weekend.
Photography, anywhere, anytime.
What kind of photography do you like?
I like nature, I like architecture, and I like people.
So this is an interesting one. What advice would you like to give your 20-year younger old self?
Lage raho munna bhai.
That's a good one. And on the flip side, what's the best advice you have received from someone and how it has impacted your life?
I was, I think, in class 10th, and I was sort of, appeared to be wandering around when one of my school teacher, my English teacher, sat me down and gave me this piece of advice. She was not my favorite teacher, but her
Okay.
words still I remember. And she said something to the effect that, Sanjay, even insects can gather their food.
Wow.
You have to do something beyond that. And I still cannot forget those words. And they've actually made a huge impact on my life. And also lately, a few years ago, I read a very nice quote by a French philosopher and author, Jean-Paul Sartre. And it is a very strange thing. And he says that the best gift a father can give to his son is to die early.
Oh,
And what basically he wants to convey is that the hardships that you face early in life can actually shape up the man that you become. And it gives you all the strength, it gives you all the motivation and drive to do something really great in life. After having read that, I felt at peace and at ease with all the difficulties I had in my early life. So that's a message for others also, that if you had difficult childhood, you're likely to become a very good adult.
those were truly some really good words of wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing these.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a little eccentric one. You're an ophthalmologist, but if you were given a chance to recreate the anatomy or structure of the eye, would you like to change something?
Nothing at all, because I believe that nature has designed everything to perfection. There is absolutely no room for change. There's no room left for improvement. And we just need to actually know more about it, explore it further. But I would not want to change anything at all.
Perfect, so well said. Okay, so if you could go back in time and change something in your life, any decision that you took, what would that be?
No decision as such, but if I could change something, yes, what I feel is that, so again, I'll share a secret with you. I was born dyslexic, And so I had a great difficulty in reading books. I still have the difficulty. I have a great difficulty in writing. My handwriting has been very, very poor. So if one thing which I could change, go back in time and change, would be probably I would want to read better. Because there's such a wealth of books on this earth. There's so many books that I have which I want to read, which cannot finish because of the fact that I'm a very slow reader. That is only one thing which I find that if I could change, I would like to do.
But I think with your continuous efforts, it just got better.
Yes, of course, there are strategies which I have employed in my life, things that I've done. And audiobooks are helping in a big way for me.
Yeah, I think this could be a good message to parents of children who are dyslexic.
Yes. So, but still, I mean, that is one thing which I may, would like to change if possible.
Okay, so if you were to be an animal for a day, which animal would you choose to be and why?
Any animal other than Homo sapien.
Why so?
Well,
Human race is the most evolved of all.
that's what we think, and we are wrong in that. Animals are equally evolved. We say that we have a language, we can communicate.
Yeah.
Animals don't need the language to communicate. Humans have not evolved. Humans have actually destroyed the nature. What we call development is actually destruction if you look at it in a different way, in a philosophical way. So, yes, humans have a place on the earth, but we are not the most evolved of the species. And in the present form, the way things are, the way the world is going, the way human race is going,
Yeah.
it's not the best species to be born in.
It's really sad, but I couldn't agree more with you. If God gives you a superpower for a day, which superpower would you like to have and why?
I think we already have the superpowers in us. We have the power to superpowers not just for one day, but for entire life. The power of compassion, the power of empathy, the power of love is there in all of us. We just need to put this power to good use.
Well said again. So, if you were to take a celebrity out for a dinner, whom would you choose to spend your evening with?
You, Sheetal,
Really?
you're a celebrity in
Oh my
ophthalmology,
God.
and I'll be very happy to have you for dinner. I know.
That's so humble and nice of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really?
Dr. Sheetal, you're a celebrity yourself in ophthalmology, and I'll be very, very happy to go out for dinner with you.
I'm truly humbled. Thank you so much.
Do I get my prize?
Definitely, after this response, you will definitely get a gift hamper from me. You deserve it. If you were to switch your life with someone else, whom would it be?
I have spent the entire life trying to learn how to live my own life. Why would I switch life with somebody else at this age?
That makes total sense. And if this question was asked to me, I think I would also have replied the same.
Yes.
If you were to switch your life with someone for a day, who that person would be?
I spent my entire life trying to learn how to live my own life. Why would I switch with somebody else's life?
That was a masterstroke answer. Loved it totally.
Thank you. And the learning still goes on.
Definitely. Fantastic. So with this, we come to the end of this super exciting and most memorable episode of Eye Conversations with you, Dr. Sanjay. Thank you so much for sharing your expert insights and some really interesting snippets about your life, passion, and career.
Thank you so much for inviting me over here. And I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much. And maybe a few words about Eye Conversation and what your experience was being here on this platform.
It's a great idea to have such conversation and to be able to impart authentic knowledge in simplified terms to the audience, to the public who can use it. Because although the information is available on Google everywhere,
Yes.
but authenticity cannot be confirmed. And sometimes that information is not understood by lay people the way it should be.
Very well, yes.
So it's a great platform and a very good initiative to convey the right information to the masses.
Plus, I think it also gives us a great opportunity to connect and know each other better as colleagues and friends.
Exactly.
Don't you think so?
Surely.
So thank you once again for coming over and spending your precious time with us today at Eye Conversations. So friends, with this we come to the end of another exciting episode with Dr. Sanjay Dhawan, and I'm sure you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed hosting this. So thank you so much for tuning in, and if you like our content, please follow our YouTube channel and Instagram and Facebook pages so that you stay updated with what's new coming up on Eye Conversations.